Hi guys, hi pet lovers. Welcome to Gina's Grooming Channel. We are on our third and final of our mini-series on choosing the right professional grooming clipper. So Professional Grooming Clippers Demystified. So where we are now is in guide combs, and this is a crucial part of the series because this is where most pet grooms take place. So I'm going to show you how to use your A5 clipper with the appropriate A5 blade. This blade is very specific to what you can use with your guide combs, and using them all in conjunction properly is going to allow you to do puppy cuts and longer haircuts for your breeds. Okay, as a quick review, again, we've got an A5 clipper. We're going to put our A5 compatible blade, but in order to use a metal guide comb in the A5 system, we're going to need to use our 30 blade. This is very important. Back in the day, I say back in the day, some people still use it, they used to use a 40 blade under plastic combs. That was how things used to be done. Now technology has gotten a little better. We have these metal combs that glide through hair a lot easier. But the important thing to know is you want to use your 30 blade, again, putting it on the industry approved housing, making sure it's clicked in, okay? Now we have a 30. We go ahead and we look at our A5 approved, A5 in the schema, clipper guide combs. Okay, they have little feet on the bottom and they have a spring mechanism that I'm going to show you how that works. So we take this and we make sure those little feet are right underneath, okay, right underneath, tucked under, and then we take our thumbs and we push it up. And what that does, take it off for a second, is it springs onto it, and you want to make sure that this is really nice and seated. Okay, so pull up, check it. Sometimes if this is uneven, it's going to rattle and make a noise. So we want to make sure that this is on properly and ready to go. So let's go ahead and talk about the guide combs specifically. Again, we're getting a little more into the fun part. We got longer haircuts that we can do with our guide combs because the guide combs are going to prevent our clipper from cutting anything shorter than what the guide comb length says. So let's take a look at some of our guide comb lengths. We can start with the 5. Now, there's a few manufacturers that make these guide combs. The big ones are Wall and Oster. But go ahead and you can look and see that this is 3 millimeters. Okay, that's my 5. So that's pretty short. Okay, my 4 gets longer. My 2 a little longer. We're at our 1. Where are we now? We're at 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we're the same as if my clipper blade section, the episode 2, that was going to be our number 3. So this is kind of our number 3 if we went to the metal clipper blade. Okay, 0, I want to just go ahead and mention this is 5/8 of an inch, okay, or 16 millimeters. This is my favorite puppy cut length. If someone comes in and says, I want a nice puppy cut, I usually go ahead with a 0 unless they tell me my understanding of a puppy cut is really long, then we'll talk about other things. But really the 0 makes a really cute length. It's 5/8 of an inch. It comes out great on Shih Tzus, on Malteses, so this is my personal favorite. Now the 3 longer ones, we've got the A, the C, and the E. But right now what we're going to be talking about again is the metal combs made by either Wall or Oster, from what I understand, that fit on your 30 blade with the little feet clipping on. Use your thumb and check. Now you're ready to go, and you're going to go ahead and start your clip of your dog with the lay of the coat, with the coat just going ahead smoothly through your metal comb. Now in our standard pack, because you can buy these guide combs individually or in a set, comes in a cute little box usually, the longest haircut that we can do with our standardized guide combs is 1 inch, okay? So that is on a dog, not too long. I want you to know that Oster makes some guide combs that are a little bit longer, and they go from, let's take a look together, we got 1.25 inches, okay? This one is 1.5 inches. And this one is the bad boy, and this is a 2-inch haircut. So if you go ahead and put this, again, same concept, little feet go on, you can go ahead and leave basically this much coat. Again, 2 inches of coat on a dog and do a really long haircut with a really long guide comb. So these do exist. I just want you to know that they're out there for you if you need them. Just want to mention that because 30 is the industry standard that we put under our metal combs, under our metal guide combs, Groomers usually have a lot of these 30s, so we interchange them. If they go ahead, stop working, they need to be lubricated, as we talked about in episode 2. We go ahead, we have a lot of 30s ready because we're gonna go ahead, keep our haircuts going, making sure that they're working. 30s are gonna be the most important thing, and the most important blade, we're using guide combs. Just wanna mention that. Okay, so in terms of maintenance, guide combs are pretty easy to maintain. You just wanna make sure that you, again, using the same brush, you can go ahead and brush. But I wanna show some of the things that can happen with guide combs. The teeth can come together. This is not how they ship from the manufacturer. This is from use. Okay, so these can be pulled back and fixed. So I'm gonna work on that a little bit later, but just wanna show that that happens. Another thing that happens is that we can go ahead and work off, and this one actually has a broken one. So see this, these are the parts that clip into the side and keep everything moving. So on this side, we're okay. On this side, this is broken, so that can happen, and that means that you pretty much need to start looking for another replacement. And this happens pretty often. I looked at my graveyard to see, and a lot of times this is exactly what happened. Also, what can happen is this little spring part can come apart, and since this is already a broken one, I want to show you. Let me go ahead and get a screwdriver. Let's take this apart together. Okay. Okay, so as you can see behind it are these little springs, okay, and that's what's going to make this part spring up and receive the seating on the blade. So I just wanted to show you guys what's behind all of this. So we got 2 little springs sitting back here. By the way, once this is broken, it pretty much toast. I have on rare occasion been able to fix it if the spring is still okay, but if it's bent in any way, mangled, that's it. You got to go ahead and buy a new guide comb. Okay guys, so with your A5 clipper and your blade that sits on the A5 clipper, so an A5 compatible blade, and then using on your 30 blade, this is where we use our guide combs. We put our 30 underneath. Don't use another blade. If you put a 40, you're gonna break your 40. So 30 is the blade you wanna use. This is a very short cutting blade. Be aware that if your guide comb pops off while you're grooming, you're gonna go ahead and shave a dog really, really close. So make sure that this is seated really, really nice, and check periodically while you're grooming your pet to make sure that this is still seating, because if it comes off, you're gonna have a nice bald patch right in the middle of your dog, so be aware of that. But with all of these things combined, and again, even with the longer guide combs that we talked about, you are now ready to go ahead and groom pretty much any pet. And we talked about SPMs in the first episode, we talked about metal blades in the second, and now guide combs in the third. You take all of these pieces together, you are ready to go and groom and select the perfect clipper for you, so you can go ahead and jump into dog grooming with confidence, knowing that you've selected the right tool and are using it the right way. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribe to our channel if this is the content that you want to see. Make sure if you like the video, thumbs up, and click that bell icon. We're going to notify you when there's a new video. Really appreciate your time. See you soon.